Good morning, Football Talk family. Welcome along to the paper round where we dive right into all of the headlines from the tabloids, all of the speculation columns, everything going on in the Premier League with the big guns, and their big guns are firing. My God, Liverpool, just stop, please. Although, there's actually a different look on this, and I'll get through this morning as well here, and I want to get your live comments in on this. So if you're not watching live, listen in, obviously. And get involved anyway in the comment section below. But if you are live right now, Liverpool and their business, we are getting closer to 300 million in one summer for Liverpool. Obviously, it's two summers in one, so they didn't spend anything last summer. They brought that forward, they spent that in June. Now July starts, that's the new financial year, so they can spend exactly the same again and go up over 300 million if they want. They're about to do that. But are they about to sign Hugo Ekitike? It looks like yes, following off the price that they've actually paying. Wow. And Alexander Isak. Or could the actual issue with Victor Gyökeres, yes, there is a massive issue with him, prompt Arsenal into going, do you know what? Let's us go back in for Isak. It is a complete whirlwind of a transfer situation right now. It's gone mental. It's gone mad. Get into the comment section and let me know on all of this while we're live, everybody. First one we've done in a while because I've been away for a few weekends. I thought, you know what? While I'm still here at the New Pines holiday resorts, might as well just actually do another live football talk show as we usually do. Keep it going. Get everything motoring, because this is going to be a massive transfer week. Barcelona taking Marcus Rashford. Didn't see that one coming as quickly as it did, but it's done. Wow. Hugo Ekitike to Liverpool. Done, according to the stories this morning. 82 million. But they still want Alexander Isak. There is so much going on right now. The fallout between Alexander Isak and Eddie Howe, I mean, that's probably the best place to start for us right now. He's not a happy man. Left out of the squad as well. Apparently, Isak was at the team hotel for the Celtic game yesterday. And sources around people in and around, obviously, Newcastle staff and things like that. So he was sat there looking miserable as hell. This man has had his head turned big time. On top of that, being left out, they got battered 4-0, by the way, by Celtic. Christ, like we thought Man United's pre-season game was boring yesterday against Leeds. Looking in better shape, and Newcastle fans, you must be a little bit concerned with how things are going at the moment here, because Isak wants out, and Ekitike is on his way to Liverpool. Your striker targets are dwindling down fast. What is it with Newcastle and not being able to get players in? Nobody wants to go there. Look, just my own opinion, before we get into the details of the Isak situation right now. So, if you're a 25, 26-year-old striker, you are one of the top 5 in the world. I think Isak is, personally. I think he's that good a player. He's definitely up there, I think. Top 10 minimum, but I think he's pushing top 5. He's a brilliant player. You're at Newcastle. Yes, you've got Champions League football, but you've given everything to Newcastle. And there's an option for you to go to Liverpool and play for the Premier League guaranteed. Yeah, you are a challenger, you are the champions, and the Champions League. Now, Newcastle are in the Champions League, but we know they're not going to win it. They haven't got a good enough squad. And when you look at the competition in it, the PSGs of this world, obviously you could even say Chelsea now with what they've got. Real Madrid's coming back stronger, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, City, Arsenal. Newcastle are not winning the Champions League, are they? Let's be honest. But you're looking at that as a striker like Isak is right now, when you're going, right, okay, like, yeah, Newcastle's great, it's another great season, helped them get in the Champions League again, second time in 3 years. Are we going to win anything? We got the League Cup, well done. Do I want more of that? Yes. Can I get at Newcastle? Probably not, going off how they competed domestically after their first Champions League campaign, and with the amount of transfer activity that they've done, which is minimal, just Anthony Elanga in, then we're not really moving very far. And if I'm Isak, I'm thinking, do I want to go and play for the Champions League next season? Very similar situation, except obviously Newcastle's a better side, I'll give them that, to the Victor Gyökeres and Arsenal and that Sporting situation. More on that in a minute, but that's where I would be with Isak. And I think this is why he's had his head turned. So Liverpool are in, Liverpool want him. They've got a bid ready. We know this. The money, oh my God, like seriously, they're about to spend another 200 million on Isak and Hugo Ekitike. So Isak's in with Newcastle's travelling squad. He's been left out by Eddie Howe. Apparently there's been a fallout now as well. He's not happy. His head's been turned. On top of that, there's the Saudi Pro League offer ready to come in for him as well, which is mind-blowing apparently. I've not heard the numbers, but if it's anything like what they're offering Vinicius Jr. right now, 350 million to Real Madrid to take him, oh my God, like, but it's not going to be that. But again, like, you look what they were offering Bruno Fernandes, 100 million for him to United. Isak's what, 200 million to Newcastle? That's a lot of money. I don't think he's going to think right now is they have been straddled, and they have, sorry, not straddled, they've been shackled in how much money they can spend. And they're lashing out a bit here. They can't see their prize asset going. So they can't spend money to make Newcastle better the way that they would want to and how quickly they want to. And now, because of that, they're losing some of their best assets because this club cannot move forward with the restraints of financial fair play and PSR. And it's not an ideal situation for them at all. So maybe the hierarchy are not happy about this. And maybe Isak is not actually happy himself with how he's been treated. I think he wants a move. And that's what it comes down to. I think Isak wants to move away. But the difference on the other side to this, which is interesting, I think, I'm going to come to the chat in this a moment, actually, so bear with me, everybody. I can see everyone getting their comments in now. Please give the video a like as well. Let's get them up over 100 as well, everyone. The situation with Arsenal. Now, apparently, Victor Gyökeres is at stalemate. And the reports from Portugal are there's no moving from Sporting at all. They won't budge. They've said this before. I think when the president came out the first time and then the second time, and all these journalists were running it, I've seen big name journalists saying that this is done, agreement in play, this and that. It's not done. Otherwise, he would have been in at Arsenal now. It's over a week near enough since we heard that that Arsenal had apparently signed Victor Gyökeres. It's been over a week and it's not there, it's not done. So what's happening? Well, I'll tell you what's happening. Everyone who was reporting on this deal saying that it was nearly done has got it wrong, because it's not, because Sporting are holding out to a point where the Portuguese media have been talking that Victor Gyökeres' father has actually been in tears at the situation and what's happening here for his son. He's now got a personal trainer apparently given to him by Arsenal just to prepare him ready for coming, but it's still not moving. Arsenal have not got their man and Sporting are not budging on this. Look, do I expect the deal to happen? I think it will. I think it will. But there are also speculations now linking Arsenal back in with Isak if this all goes wrong. And what happens to Victor Gyökeres past this, I got no idea. But again, the complications and how awkward some of these transfers have been this summer so far, absolutely mind-boggling. We're not even talking about Hugo Ekitike yet, but Victor Gyökeres' situation right now at stalemate with Arsenal and Sporting. Like, nobody's agreeing on anything right now. It is completely up in the air, and it doesn't look like Sporting are going to buckle anything. Arsenal are going to have to spend more money. I mean, it's the only way that this deal happens. Just spend the extra money and get this deal done. And then we can move forward with it. But while Arsenal haven't got a striker, you're going to get the same stories coming out over and over again. Arsenal not buying a striker. This, I think now, has got to a stage where I think the stories going around about Hugo Ekitike, obviously not going to Newcastle, Isak wanting out of Newcastle, Arsenal still haven't got Gyökeres, Liverpool want Isak, where does he want to go? It is a complete minefield. Now, if Arsenal come back in for Isak again, like some stories are reporting this morning, now I think they're probably a little bit more far-fetched, but still, you wouldn't write it off, would you? No one expected the transfer window to go the way it has so far. And again, like Isak going to Arsenal, I would not cancel that out. I think Arsenal have got money to spend. I think they would spend it. They're going to have to spend nearly double the amount that they want to spend on Victor Gyökeres to get him, though. So that, I think, again, could come up later on in this window. Excuse me. I do think that Gyökeres will end up at Arsenal. That's my prediction. And I think Isak will go to Liverpool. Now, that takes us on to a different world of conversation regarding Liverpool, because we know about Ekitike. We'll talk about him in a minute, and my friend Craig over at Anfield Agenda anyway. But Let's get into the comment section on this. Sorry if my stream frozen for a moment there. I don't know what happened. It might have been a connection issue, but it looks like it's all sorted now anyway. Tom, absolute legend. Welcome to the members club again here on Football Talks, buddy. Really appreciate that, mate. Renewed membership from Block as well. Thank you. Can we kidnap De Gea from after the Fiorentina game? Yeah, keep him at Old Trafford. As Stu says, get Anana out. Also renewed his membership. Legends, the pair of you. Thank you, Stu. Mod Central and obviously Sean as well. Brilliant. Love that. All right, let's get into some more. When Liverpool start selling players, Nunez, Elliott, Doak, Morton, Diaz, they will pull much. They'll pull much of the 300 million back. On Liverpool, just to quickly answer that, that's one thing I haven't brought in. Diaz is going to end up going to Bayern Munich. I think Liverpool will sanction this deal now because they're making huge moves. I think you're going to get, what, 50 million for Nunez? I still can't believe you're getting that amount of money, but I think 40 to 50 million. So you're going to get well over 100 million for Diaz and Nunez. That's going to bring back the Hugo Ekitike fee at least. Again, money-wise, wow. And it's scary how a club does this or is doing this. Just quickly on it, actually, Kaz made a great point this morning, actually. As a Manchester United fan, I'm not too concerned with Liverpool taking Isak from Newcastle. Obviously, Liverpool are a great historical rival of Manchester United, but actually them weakening Newcastle might help Manchester United in challenging for Europa League places. Possibly push for Champions League, I don't know, but we can't compete with Liverpool no matter what anyway at the moment. No matter what we do this window, we're not going to get back up there. We know this is a stepping stone window to get up there, but other clubs are probably thinking the same. If Newcastle are weakened, they're a team that are in them top 6, 7 places. Someone else could creep in, so we're all thinking here, watching this. Sadly for Man United fans and Spurs fans and who else am I thinking of? Aston Villa maybe. Like, we have to accept that we're nowhere near competing at that level and we can't make that step up yet. But still, to have Newcastle weakened at the same time and they've got to play Champions League football, they've only brought one player in and their star player is looking out of the door. Whew, I tell you what, like this, Newcastle are going to struggle this season, but it's not a bad thing for everybody else, is it? That's one way of looking at it. It was a good point from Kaz this morning on that one, actually. But again, I still don't see who Newcastle are going to bring in that's going to strengthen them now. I said in a video, separate one, I think even my last video that I did here on Football Talks, I think I said, look, Liverpool taking Ekitike is bad for Newcastle, but it's not as bad as what it could have been. That, yes, Liverpool were going to take Ekitike, but you kept Isak. What if you lost Isak and brought Ekitike? That would have been a nightmare scenario for Newcastle. Now, Newcastle are going to lose Ekitike because Liverpool have agreed a fee with Frankfurt and Isak wants out. So you've gone from having this dream of being the team that are buying Hugo Ekitike to bring in alongside Alexander Isak and Newcastle being a real powerhouse to worrying that Ekitike won't come when you've just got Isak, to then going like, oh, we'll get Isak will leave, but then Ekitike will come in and then you're weakened, even though you've brought Ekitike in, to not getting Ekitike and losing Alexander Isak and possibly bringing in Kolo Muani. Like, apparently Newcastle and United both in for him. That, I think, is an absolute disaster scenario for Newcastle. And Newcastle fans must be doing an absolute nut right now. They really must be. There is more news from Newcastle as well, and I hope this from Liverpool too right now. I hope this isn't true. Liverpool are favourites to land Adam Watton, but not until next summer, as the player wants to spend another year at Sellers Park. That's in the Sunday papers. There could be a few people in on Adam Watton next summer. He's going to stay for one more year. I think that's good for everybody because it gives everyone a chance next summer. Anyway, in terms of it's a great breakdown here as well. Just been talking about Arsenal's situation with Victor Gyökeres, just the craziness of these transfers, and someone's done a great breakdown here online to give you an idea of how chaotic the Portuguese papers are in terms of this and how they're reporting Gyökeres. And do take the Portuguese reports on Gyökeres, like I said, with the right amount of seasoning, because they can be a bit crazy. with their reports. There's one that says, had one article saying we are making a fourth bid 2 days back, and now another journal who is affiliated to them is saying Atletico are monitoring Gyökeres. Ojogo said no negotiations. Another one then said collapsing and Gyökeres dad crying. A Portugal record says Sporting want deal resolved in a few days. They're easy add-ons to that they want meeting. And again, like when you look at all of the foreign papers, they're difficult to sort of fathom compared to English. I mean, the English media are crazy, but some of the European papers, particularly the Portuguese ones, my God, off the rockers, absolutely off the rockers. But again, like I think I'd be more comfortable as an Arsenal fan right now with Gyökeres. I think they'll get that deal done. It's clear that that's going to happen because the player wants it to happen. At the end of the day, you always end up with a player actually joining a football club rather than it going the opposite way. Especially one as high profile as Victor Gyökeres. So yes, but get into the comment section on Newcastle, because I think they're in a bit of a 2-8 at the moment. Sell Garnacho to Newcastle, says Stephen. Yeah, that could be a way out for him, but still not a striker though. There's only one winner here. Frankfurt played Newcastle and Liverpool. True. United pre-season game in America are against West Ham, Bournemouth and Everton. That will gauge where we are, says Tom. Nightmare for Newcastle, it's Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool are laughing right now. I've seen my mate Craig like winding up Newcastle fans, but I also seen Craig having a go at Manchester United for the fee that we've paid for Brian and Mbumo. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pull Craig on this one. So he was saying that that's an embarrassment for Manchester United to all the people that were sacked at Manchester United to buy in him. And Liverpool are just about to spend 82 million on Hugo Ekitike. Wow. Now, I said this earlier on FUTV, and I still hold this. This is my theory on this one. Liverpool have got money. And money doesn't get you everything. We know that. I mean, bleeding hell. Look at Chelsea. Look at Manchester United. Look at many clubs that have spent fortunes and still not got any better in the Premier League in particular. But Liverpool right now, they can afford to spend more on players than anybody else because of what they've saved and how much they've actually spent over last season. So they could just go to Frankfurt and just say, look, what are Newcastle? Newcastle bidding, their bid was in the region of what I think it was about 65 million. And Liverpool have come in and gone 82. 82 million for Ekitike. Oh my God. And it's like, but they're not bothered. They've got the player in. They're in the Champions League. They're the champions. They're competing at the highest level, and that money will come back in. And obviously Liverpool have got players that they can sell as well here and balance the books with. It's like getting business done, but not worrying about the money that they've spent. Liverpool are in a position, and a privileged position right now, to go out and say, we can spend more. And you know what? We don't mind spending more because this is taking a player away from one of our rivals as well. And that, I think, is key in this. So I think Liverpool are actually just going out and saying, look, when City were in for Florian Wirtz, no, we'll pay this much money, they won't. And they did. We're in for Hugo Ekitike. Newcastle want him, no, we'll pay this much. And they'll be like, we'll sell him to Liverpool. I think Liverpool have done it. They've flexed their financial muscle this summer. And they've left other teams in their wake. Like, they've left Newcastle behind here. Absolutely shafting them. If they take Isak on top, that completely destroys any chance of Newcastle maintaining Champions League status next season. I'm sorry, I'll make that statement now. That player is irreplaceable. I said it was a disaster for Newcastle if Ekitike came in and they lost Isak. They're not getting Ekitike, and if Isak now wants out and they end up losing him, it's game over. I'm sorry, there's no one on that level. Like, they can still get a decent striker in. They could possibly go out and get a Benjamin Sesko, a Moane, or somebody like that. Get somebody else in. They're looking at Wisa as well from Brentford. It's not Alexander Isak. You're talking elite level of striker here, right up there. And that, I think, is irreplaceable for them. And I don't think they're any stronger at all, Newcastle, so far. And out of everybody in the top half of the table, I think they're probably the weakest right now. Them and Aston Villa are probably, their fans are probably worrying right now with what's going on, because they are weaker than what they was last season. You look at Aston Villa, for instance, they've just lost Rashford, they've just lost Asensio, they were both on loan. Obviously, Duran has gone. Watkins is a year older. He's looking like he wants out. Martinez wants to leave and go to Manchester United. Newcastle's players, even while being in the Champions League, want out of the football club and are gone. And nobody's coming in. Like, Alanga's a good signing for Newcastle, and they've got a pacey front line there, but that's not enough to play and compete week in, week out in the Premier League and the Champions League, which is what their demands are going to be this season. They haven't bought enough. They need another 5 or 6 players, Newcastle, just to compete, because we've seen what happened to them last time they were in the Champions League. I just don't think they can do it. I don't. But what a nightmare scenario for them. As a Manchester United fan myself, obviously I've been worried and concerned. Obviously we're moving forward now with obviously Mbeumo and Matthews Cunha through the door. Great signings, and United are actually stronger than what we was last season. But like, when I look at what other clubs are doing, I'm thinking we're actually not that bad. Considering where Manchester United finished, and you look at some of the bigger teams that are in Europe this season, there hasn't been much movement from Newcastle and Aston Villa. Nottingham Forest are losing players. All of these European teams that did well last season in the Premier League, they're all suffering right now. And it's hard to fathom, figure out why. Like, you've got up to that next level. Why did the players want out? Well, when you've got someone like Alexander Isak and you cannot bring in players around him that actually suit how he wants to play or take him to that next level or help him compete, then that player is automatically going to think that he wants to be elsewhere and have a better chance of winning trophies. That's what I see anyway. Let's get some more comments in on this one. This is a complete can of worms. If Liverpool don't take Ekitike, United should do everything to get him. That deal is done, mate. The deal is done, pal. Ekitike, 82 million to Liverpool. That is happening. 90 million is too much. If Newcastle rejected 120 for Isak, we should have bid this, that same for Alvarez. I think it is 120 million for Isak. You are right on that one, mate, actually. Having Ekitike around the likes of Mo Salah and Wirtz and Maka will help him develop. Ekitike in that Liverpool side will be very, very good. I think I've already said already in another video, Ekitike isn't elite yet. Potential, yeah, plenty. Very good player, excellent player actually. But I think he gets 25 goals next season minimum in that Liverpool side. And he automatically looks like he's worth the money at that. Because Liverpool have got such a good team already, any player is going to look good when they come in right now, I think. Even Darwin Núñez scores 20 goals pretty much on average. So Ekitike coming in, he's going to look like he's worth it. And as long as Liverpool stay in the Champions League, it's investment well spent, because the money that you get from the Champions League now is absolutely ludicrous. So yeah, Liverpool are not bothered. Extra gate receipts because of the new stadium development for a full season this time. Obviously, like I said, Champions League, the Premier League money and everything that they earned from that. Yeah, Liverpool are not concerned about spending 82 million. And that's what happens when you're in a good position in the league. Let's see what else we've got in here as well. And Newcastle thought, that's just the name, the YouTube name. Newcastle thought about it too hard. I suspect Isak was to be shipped to Saudi Arabia and he refused. See, look, now the ownership of Newcastle United, obviously Saudi Arabian ownership, Isak going to Saudi Arabia, Newcastle fans, I think, would fall out of love instantly with that ownership model. After all of the singing and dancing and everything that they have done for the football club, if he ended up going to Saudi Arabia, you know what them Newcastle fans are going to be singing and chanting. They're not going to be singing and chanting about the owners. They're going to be livid. Going into like pre-season now, everyone's back. And to only have Anthony Elanga in and your star player out of the door. Let's not forget they've sold Sean Longstaff as well. He's gone to Leeds. So they're not any stronger than was. They are weaker. And we are nearly, what are we away? We're less than 4 weeks away from the start of the season. That's what Newcastle fans will be thinking now. I guarantee you. And if you are a Newcastle fan, get into the chat. How concerned are you with all of this news right now? Alan C says, forget Isak when the Golden Boot challenge was on between Salah and Isak last season, and Salah stopped scoring for about 5 or 6 games near the end. Isak didn't step up and overtake him, but you would still take Isak in a Liverpool side alongside Mo Salah. How about having both Golden Boot players both competing against each other in the same team? Levels and then levels. That would be scary for everybody else. I tell you what, City are bricking it right now. They really are. They're thinking, how do we compete with Liverpool? Oh, here's a question for you now, everybody. And I want you to get your comments in. If you're not watching live, get into the comment section below as well on this one. So, Liverpool last season spent zilcho. Same team, Klopp's team, Slot comes in, wins the league at a canter. Like, crushes everybody. Do you think that was simply because everyone at Liverpool knew each other? You had that camaraderie, you had that connection, you had that understanding there. And then bringing in so many players in one window, could it work against Liverpool? That's the question I want you to answer on that. Or is it me just being stupid and you cannot argue with the quality that's coming in at Liverpool? Look, I get both arguments. For me, I think Liverpool have kicked ass. I kicked everyone's ass in this transfer window. I think the players they've bought are excellent. If you throw in a Mark Gehi, you might as well throw in the bleeding Premier League title right now. To be honest, like, Liverpool are winning the league. There's no way that anyone can compete with that. But is there anyone out there that thinks that they've bought too much and it could end up ruining them? And I'm only saying that out of experience. United have done this before. We have done this before and it has completely backfired on us. So I'm only saying it because I think that this could be a scenario down the line where it ends up being at Liverpool spending all this money on looking like a formidable force on paper, but they don't gel. They don't gel because, let's be honest, Arne Slot's going to be judged this season even more now because this is his team. He's bringing in half a team here so far. So if you look at Ekitike coming in, you're bringing in Wirtz, there's 2. You've got the 2 fullbacks in GYOKERES and Frimpong, there's 4. You've got a new goalkeeper, that was already done, obviously, as we know, previous season. But if you then bring in, obviously, maybe one more, like a defender, for instance, like a Gehi, he has brought in half a starting lineup there. And then he will be judged on his players, not Klopp's. I think the pressure was off Arne Slot last season, and I think that's why he thrived. I do, and he did a fantastic job and taking nothing away from him. He looks like a cool cucumber, but has he ever been put under pressure? Has he ever had to deal with the situation of misfiring superstars? We'll see how that comes about if anything like that does happen. Liverpool won the league last year because every other team dropped off. I get you can say that, but then again, like, Liverpool still, with the amount of points and the amount of time that they had, still would have competed and won the league, I think, even if everybody else was still up there. 80-odd points, then taking a week off in between games before the end of the season, taking the mick out of the rest of the league. Like, actually having a break away in Ibiza while the season's still going on. And that wasn't even on an international break in the last few weeks of the season. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think there would have been many that actually caught them, even if they were on song, mate, to be honest. But I get what you're saying, Pete, on that one. I just think Liverpool would have been able to just go up a gear anyway, to be honest. I think that's where they were at with it. Liverpool won last year by default. The only competition was Arsenal, but they needed a striker. Liverpool will melt this year. That's a big shout. No worry, Liverpool have DNA champions. Liverpool FC 1892. As a Liverpool fan, you are brilliant. You just state facts, unlike some other bullshitters on YouTube. A brilliant channel. Keep up the good work, mates. Thanks for that, pal. I appreciate that. Look, I say it as I see it. I always will. That's what I've done. That's what I do on FUTV, and I will continue to do it on Football Talks. I love talking about the other teams on the other side of football because I just love football in general. And like I said, when I was working with Craig from Anfield Agenda, we had a great relationship because we just love football. We love football. I messaged Craig privately the other day and I said, you stop winding them Newcastle fans up, mate. I'm sure you've all seen the videos of Craig winding up Newcastle. Well, he's not winding them up. He's just, again, he's just stating what's actually happening. It's like, it's not him who's buying these players, but everybody's absolutely destroying him. But I remember working with Craig and he did have massive respect for Newcastle fans. And now, like, this video is shot when he did it, when he was talking about Newcastle fans slaughtering him. I think he is genuinely surprised, but I think it's just brought from sheer panic from Newcastle fans, and that shows you where that fan base is at and how worried they are. And I tell you, I would be worried as well as a Newcastle fan. Look, I'm going to wrap things up there because I need to start heading out, getting packed and getting back home, but that is it. Massive thank you to the New Pines for hosting us for this weekend again. Really appreciate that from them. Obviously, all of the mods in the chat, we passed over 100 likes. Great numbers again for a live show here on Football Talks. We are just getting started. We've only been going this year alone on this channel, so thank you again. If you haven't, please hit the subscribe button. It helps us out massively. We're going to try and get as close to 10k as we can this year. So hit the subscribe button, everybody. I will see you all later on. Have a fantastic Sunday, and let's see what other transfer news hits the headlines over this next, well, I think it's day by day now, isn't it? Cheers, everyone. Give the video a like, subscribe, share the video. I'll see you all later.